is one of my friends. He's deep, he's mysterious, he's focused, he's hilarious, and he's about to blow your mind. Give it up for Christopher Anthony!
I grew up with a mom and two sisters. I'm a Puerto Rican from New York. You've seen the documentaries, you know how it works. I do remember the last time I saw my dad. We were playing peekaboo. He's a really fast runner. So yeah, grew up with a mom, two sisters. That explains why I have long hair, I pee sitting down, and I take longer to get ready than any woman I've ever dated. Bringing up my childhood because I did the homework. She said talk about school and being young. I'm here to talk about school and being young. Thank you. I grew up watching Lifetime movies. So by the time I was 12, I realized that no matter what, I was destined to grow up and be an abusive drunk. And I don't make it up. Have you guys seen these Lifetime movies? They're all like the same thing. It's like, watch tonight at 9, a movie about a woman torn between her abusive husband and her rapist son. Starring Judith Light, or Yasmin Bleeth, or someone else you pretty sure died on Lifetime. Tonight at 9, tomorrow at 7, and all day Saturday. Until every woman is either gay or single, we're showing these films. That is what I grew up watching. That and Supermarket Sweep and Unsolved Mysteries. All on the same channel. Living in Florida and knowing that 3 out of 4 Unsolved Mysteries stories always end with, and they haven't been seen since. In Florida. My mom never had to tell me not to talk to my neighbors. I was pretty sure all of them were murderers. Or as men destined to become one. That's my education, thank you. I'm really opening up here. Because I grew up with no dad and 2 sisters, my mom was terrified, the homophobe she is, that her son would be gay. And she's like, there's no man who's gonna be with me. Not that my mom wanted me to be, you know what I mean, you get the drift. She wanted someone in the penis who's not gonna leave after 3 days. Anyway, true story, I'm opening up here, true story. My mom, when I was 12, my mom went in my room and saw that my sister's Barbie dolls were in my room. And she was so terrified that I was going to turn gay, she took all those Barbie dolls and she bought me G.I. Joes. And it was so difficult to masturbate to G.I. Joes. I just feel like the plan backfired, Mom. You know what I mean? Because if you don't know anything about G.I. Joes, it's all dudes. It's all dudes. But luckily you have the Cobra Commander, guys in the back know all about this. Mirror mask, thick jacket. I'm like, there's a woman in there. There's a woman in there. Let's figure this shit out. None of them had real hair for me to comb. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. But it's all true stories. I grew up in Florida, but I missed the whole like hot teachers fucking students phase, which sucked. I'll tell you right now, no offense to women, I would not have slept with any of my fucking teachers. Good guy, absolutely horrible, horrible looking women. And just horrible head, just horrible, anyway. I'm just saying, I tried stuff out. Geneva was talking about Dare. These are the true story, okay? So a lot of my clothes are from thrift stores, and I got a Dare t-shirt, okay? But it didn't have the stuff underneath. You guys know what Dare stands for, right? Okay. It didn't have the stuff underneath. So I grew up thinking that Dare stood for drugs are really expensive. And in a single parent family, that was reason enough not to get involved, you know what I mean? But my mom's, real talk, my mom's talk with me about drugs was like, look, as you get older, you'll have some friends who like do drugs or have drugs, or maybe some of them sell drugs. Those are good friends to have. That means they have money, okay? They're gonna grow up to be like politicians or police. Either way, get on their good side. Smart woman, smart woman. I mean, she learned that from Lifetime movies too, so. But seriously, I was so poor, not to place my age, but I grew up in the world of like collect calls. No quarter, right? Even my mom gave me change. I was just spending like candy or the arcades or some shit. Wow, I sound like a fucking boomer. I'm not that old. Anyway, payphones were not too long ago, people. So I would have collect calls, but I didn't have enough money. So you know how like you have a collect call from, right? They'd be like, hey mom, I'm launching my baby home, I'll see you later, bye. And that was it. And she'd be like, oh, okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna whoop his ass. As soon as he gets here, he's late for sure. Thank you. Thank you for not. Anyway, I was like really bad at communication. I mean, obviously I've improved since then, but I was super awkward, especially in my teenage years. I think the collect calls just forced me to like really be very, very concise when I spoke to people. Like all my friends, like towards like the latter part of high school, all the dudes were like, oh, I've seen a girl naked, I've seen a girl naked. And like, oh yeah, who's the first girl you saw naked? And they shout out some girl's name at our school, and they're like, all right, man, who's the first girl you saw naked? And I'm like, my little sister. Nice awkward pause. I could have said I grew up in a single parent family where my mom needed me to chip in and help out and be able to change my sister's diaper, but fuck that backstory. I just want to make it feel really, really weird. It gets worse, right? It gets worse because, again, teenage kids, all they can do is talk about like having access to porn, watching porn, jacking off, all that stupid shit. And so, midway in the conversation, I'm like, you know what, guys? I think my grandma watches me masturbate. Which I realize now is a really horrible way of saying I believe in ghosts. You know what I mean? Like, should have started off with that, hey, my grandma died, we were really close, so I feel like no matter where I go or what I do, I feel like she's with me. But I wish there was a few points where she'd just take a fucking break and go to a bingo parlor so I have time alone with my new friend. But I didn't say all that. I just said, I think my grandma watches me masturbate. She loves that joke. See you later, baby. All right, we're good. It's true. Again, awkward. What I say isn't what they hear. What someone says isn't what I hear. Growing up in South Florida, Orlando's right nearby. So every girl, again, some people mentioned this already, the whole Disney princess. I'm dating a girl, I'm 16, I'm feeling good. And she's like, well, I want to be treated like a Disney princess. So I leaned in, touched her thigh, because that's the kind of game I had. And I said, look, Susanna Serena Lopez, her full name. All right, look, Susanna Serena Lopez, I don't like you enough to kill both of your parents. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen enough Disney movies to know that you want the crown, you gotta sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice. It didn't help with my mom's whole like, oh my God, I'm afraid he's gonna be gay, that I joined cheerleading, but I thought it was the smartest thing in the world, right? I was a cheerleader, I was an NC All-American, go me. NC All-American, had the spirit stick and everything. Had to dry it off after the girls had it. But anyway, my mom wanted me to play football, okay? Now I did cheerleading because I am good at math. My squad had 16 girls, 4 guys. And I made sure all those dudes were straight. Like, we had a good story. All right, we traveled every 2 weeks, went to a different thing. And I don't know if you know this about high school girls, they fucking hate each other all the time. And they love anyone who's willing to listen and talk shit about other girls. Anyway, just help me out here. Cheerleading, I think, is actually one of the most hetero sports there is. But can you guys help me figure out this whole thing with football just real quick? Just imagine you close your eyes and you know nothing about football. Fellas do this too. You know nothing about football, but you hear it playing in the background. Okay? Here's a football game, you know nothing about football, and it's playing in the background. He's penetrating deep into the tight end. He's chasing down, grabbing. Ooh, he tackled a wide receiver. That's a wide receiver right there. He's posting up real hard against a fullback. Oh, he just did something good. He's dancing. His friends are joining to dance with him. That coach in that white shirt did such a good job, guys. Let's get that shirt wet. Let's get that shirt just soaking wet. There it is. Today is the Cowboys versus the Vikings. These guys are wearing pads. My little sister wears pads. They showered together before this. Hopefully they'll shower after. They're so sweaty. God, these guys are so sweaty. This sports moment brought to you by Cots. Cots. Cots, we're in your home. We're everywhere. We're spreading all the cots. If that isn't hetero enough, I hear that there's a version of this sport people enjoy in the privacy of their home called fantasy. Fantasy football. But do you want to play fantasy football? You have to know so much more about those men. How tall is he? How much does he weigh? What's his favorite position? No. In college, he tried a few different positions. What did he settle on? What schools did he go to? Let me check his Instagram. How is he feeling right now? Okay, good. I'm going to spend $400 on this guy right now. I'm wearing his shirt. It's not the same shirt, but it has his name. It's almost like we're together. And that's why I did cheerleading instead of football. You guys have been great. Thank you so much.